Ladies and gentlemen, we winning. Ichikawa has done it. My boy Ichikawa, he almost fell back. I was getting really frustrated. He almost fell back, but he did it. They haven't said it yet, but by all accounts, they have pretty much expressed it, and I loved every single minute of it. Yamada was so happy at the end. Yamada was so freaking happy at the end. But no, I do love this. I love it as per usual, having it not just be as simple as a light switch, things fix. Ichikawa in this episode fell right snap back into his usual thing, his usual state of not feeling like he's adequate enough. But again, always kind of addressing it from a different angle. That's what I like about this writer. It's not repeating itself. Now, it can repeat itself. It has repeated itself here and there, but it's always from a different angle. And in this episode, what pretty much was the shining beacon here was Ichikawa essentially comparing himself to other. Every single time I feel like I got it, at some point, I look at somebody else and I immediately fall right back in that area where I'm not good enough. I'm downing on myself. And thankfully, it's like just by the train. The best wingman is the train itself. The train literally pushes Ichikawa. He protects his little cupcake, and at that point, everything is revealed. He can't hide it anymore. Yamada's like, you're protecting something special in there. And they get and he gets that little extra bump, and then he's not going to do it again. And then he gets that little extra bump. Something has to keep bumping him until he finally does it. And it was so good. It was so good. I love that it was almost going to fall right back in that, but it kind of does it anyways. But yeah, let's get into the episode proper, opening up with Ichikawa being teased by his entire family. I think it was the first time we ever seen his father. Like, his father just randomly pops up. Ichikawa's becoming a celebrity, which they do hit on later on with the basketball club girls showing up and kind of talking about how, dude, he's so great. Even in the manga, I flipped the manga, and they even had this little moment where everybody's talking about his video of him actually doing the speech and how he's gonna go viral, and it starts getting in his head. But yeah, everybody still thinks he's a creep because he can't sing or not. you have what's her face over there? Chi was over there like just constantly saying that he's a creep. But it was kind of an interesting thing though, because the manga sort of emphasizes more on the idea of Ichikawa sort of embracing his creepiness. Like when Yamada comes in there to the other room and sees him, that's what kind of pushes him. He doesn't want to say why he's there, and he's like, well, forget it. Just embrace your creepiness. And he kind of does that again with the rest of the students. But yeah, I love that little opening segment. And Kana, as per usual, Kana just being so great, just so happy for Ichikawa, trying to prepare him for his celebrityhood. You gotta be prepared for what you're gonna say whenever somebody asks you out. And you say, I'm interested in somebody else. And he's like, crap. Did she hear? Was she there? Did she actually hear what Yamada said? It was super good. I absolutely love every scene with Kana. She's fantastic. But yes, going to school, Ichikawa is sort of getting in a state of not wanting to get ahead of himself. He obviously knows that Yamada likes him. And I do like how he kind of puts it in the idea that nothing changes because now it's more difficult. Doesn't matter much when you're not liked, because if you fail, you can always build back up. But in his mindset that, and I think this kind of goes to the favor of the later on parts, is that he's afraid now because it's only downhill from here. That's really what his mindset is, which is a bad way of thinking about things, but I guess it technically is true in the idea that, okay, she likes me now, and if I mess up, it can fall apart. Of course, in his mindset, it is that it's going to crash and burn. Like, it is going to be destroyed if I mess up at this point. So I have to keep as the status quo. I got to keep trying to do good. And again, I think that kind of plays into his anxieties later on. But yeah, Yamada and everybody else goes with the basketball club to send off all the seniors, the third years. And yeah, sure enough, the basketball boys are with them. So he has to follow them like a creep. And he's like, all right, why am I here? I think this episode, I mean, it's always in the series. I think that the seiyuu for Ichikawa did such a phenomenal job in this episode, because there's so many points in this episode that's so in his head that we haven't really had, I think, in a little bit. Just constantly going, oh my gosh, I'm a creep. What am I doing here? Oh my gosh, I'm dead. Why'd I do this? I got caught. Crap, this sucks. It was a bunch of good stuff. But yeah, he gets caught by the the other girls asking if he ad-libbed it and bringing him in there. And I loved how they did that into the opening. I love that kind of karaoke thing. He starts singing the beginning of the song and it goes right into the OP. I thought that was very clever. I was kind of hoping that they would have, at the end of the OP, it cuts back to him and he's singing terribly. And then again, they do all the other scenes where everybody's talking about how good he did at the speech and how he's getting ahead of himself and getting full of himself. But no, this scene in the other karaoke room was fantastic. Yamada coming in there and just being, she's literally trying to state to him why she's kind of been acting weird. And that's really in the fact that she did state that. She's like, you heard it, didn't you? I said that. It made my heart race. It made me realize what that was. And again, on the other side, she is fearful that Ichikawa is seeing her as off-putting. Again, we keep hitting on this idea that Ichikawa's not the only one in this whole scenario that is constantly down on themselves. Yamada's the same way. She doesn't want to be hated. And she's always fearful that she's too heavy on Ichikawa and that he's going to start hating her. It's like what she said when Nanjo had confessed to her. I'm afraid of being hated. And I do love when every now and then we get those little insights into her mind. Oh, that's why she's acting that way. She's flustered. She's super flustered right now. She's struggling too. We just don't get those inner thoughts of her. It's only whenever these rare moments where she actually expresses it. Well, she's decently good at expressing herself. Just sometimes it's cryptic to Ichikawa, obviously. But no, he's like, no, it's not what it was. I came here because, yeah, you went with the b-ball guys and I got all worked up, which he likes, and starts poking his back. And then the girls spot him. I love that. But no, I love the scene with Hara right after this, going into the library and Hara inviting Yamada and Ichikawa to go to this sweets place. And immediately they're like, wait, you're not going out with Kanzaki? No, we're not going out. Ichikawa's like, why would you hang out all the time and not be going out? And everybody just looking at him like, really, dude? And when he said that, my mind immediately went, wait, what? Did you? And then they started kind of that pause. It's one of those great moments where you as the viewer are thinking the same exact thing everybody else is in the room, where you have that pause and we're all thinking the same thing. Like, did you just say that? And then Yamada just continues the conversation, just like, what? Anyways, I'll go with you. It was so great. But yeah, this was something that it was technically portrayed in the anime, but it was kind of glossed over. In the manga, they did a little bit better job of kind of showing these side shots of Kanzaki and inner thoughts of Ichikawa. And the idea that it seems like Kanzaki has a habit of telling Hara that he likes things about her, but not that he likes her. And that's the confusion. They have like this little brief shot of Yamada and Hara when they were in the bathroom before they came out and Ichikawa said, she's mine. They have a brief shot where they were in there. And then later on when Ichikawa is talking to Kanzaki, he does mention the idea that I keep telling her that I like her. It just never works out. Like she doesn't seem to be getting it. And that's really because Hara is, it seems like from that perspective of Ichikawa, it sort of gives this indication that he's not saying it right. The example they were giving there is that Kanzaki says, I like you whenever you're eating. And that's his thought. In Kanzaki's head, apparently, that is his thought of saying that I like you. But Hara is not getting those signals because he's saying that I like you when you eat. It's not saying that I like you as a person. And that's the difficulty that seems like Kanzaki's having, is he's not communicating it properly. From the scene inside the bathroom with Yamada and Hara, it's more putting it the idea that he says that he likes things about me a lot, but she does not really get, it doesn't feel like it has meaning to it, I guess. So I'm getting mixed translation for the two of them, but it kind of gives the indication that Kanzaki is just terrible at expressing directly to her, I like you. More so, he's just dropping likes all over the place and not really putting much meaning behind it. So that's kind of what they're kind of insinuating there. And Ichikawa was like, man, this guy has some problems of his own. Which it was kind of cool because at start it seemed like Kanzaki was a bit heavy, but towards that later part, I really liked that little bit of a pep talk that he was sort of giving Ichikawa. Like kind of telling him, look, you're better than you think you are. Which is something that I would usually expect somebody like Moeka to say. Moeka is good at kind of pushing Ichikawa, but not really talking him up. And I think this guy did a good job of kind of telling Ichikawa, people say that you're kind of a good dude, and you did a really good job of that speech. You're kind of getting popular kind of thing. And yeah, those other girls kind of gave that impression as well. Man, that was a great speech. Man, we were constantly talking about what you did, and we're wondering if you ad-libbed it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyways, yeah, they go to the meeting. Well, technically Hara pushed Ichikawa into doing it because she goes, yeah, it's that white day. You know, the white day? And he's like, oh yeah, the white day. I forgot about that. I was prepared for that. But yes, he goes there and ends up bumping into Hara. My gosh. By the way, super cute. Hara in casual outfits, super cute. And yeah, her outfit kind of emphasized certain things, but she looked super, super cute. I always thought that Hara looks cute. I like her. She got a cute chunkiness to her. But yeah, gets to a conversation later. They get a conversation about how they both got there early and Ichikawa to basically shop. And she quickly prods him into admitting that, yes, it's for Yamada. And I like this because it's like he sort of allows himself to open up to Hara. In the manga, it sort of gives this indication, crap, I keep slipping this kind of stuff out. But in the anime, I like how it kind of implies this idea that it's Hara. He kind of feels comfortable with telling Hara that, yes, he does like Yamada. I guess that idea that he feels like he could express something like that with her and it wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, she goes to help him. This is a cool thing. Technically, Ichikawa is sort of asking everything about the cupcake. And this is something I didn't realize until I went back in my notes and realized that, yes, technically, well, it was when I was looking through the manga. At this time that we're watching the scene where he's going around with Hara, we get that he's asking all these questions about, like, oh yeah, homemade cupcakes. It would be different from me. It's different when she makes it than when I make it. It's going to be creepy or whatever. All the accessories, yeah, accessories would be creepy. And he keeps saying these things that Downs, well, we didn't know at the time, is in his bag. So he's technically, when he's talking about shopping, he's already got a plan. He came there and he's talking about shopping for something with Hara, and he's already got it. So why is he shopping? Because he's not sure about it. So it's almost like he's prodding himself as he's walking around with Hara, trying to figure out if it's okay. Homemades, accessories. Eventually going into, well, I'll just give her a catalog. She's like, that's kind of a little too formal, right? I did like that realization I had when I was reading through the manga that, oh wait, that's actually everything that he had in his bag, and he's unsure about it. But yes, eventually Hara has the idea of the hat, and he immediately says, that looks cute. And he was thinking about Yamada at the time, but Yamada overhears it, and we get that death glare from Yamada. But quickly turns into something that he likes. He's like, crap, is she jealous? Wow. And then immediately Kanzaki's death glare. I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you. Oh yeah, Yamada's cute too, right? Right. It was a goofy little scene. And then, of course, the whole scene with them at the sweets pastry place, Paradise. That was a really out of nowhere thing. I was actually very impressed by that. It's kind of like Ichikawa when he was talking with Adachi and Nanjo. It's like one of those brief moments where suddenly out of nowhere, Ichikawa just speaks up and drops knowledge. It's always these moments that kind of catch me off guard. That scene with Nanjo caught me off guard too. Like, Ichikawa it came out. Oh, you don't know women. Oh, well, you'll never understand women. Well, you're not trying, kind of thing. Like, he just blurted that out and just dropped knowledge on Nanjo. And it was the same situation here. Like, they're just sitting there, and Kanzaki's going on and on about how Hara needs to eat. You should eat. I like you the way you are. Eat more stuff. And he's just pushing that on him. And this is something that I've always kind of been a back and forth with Kanzaki. Like, this entire, like, every time we get Hara and Kanzaki, it always brings this up. Well, it doesn't always bring this up, but it often brings this up. This idea that Kanzaki likes Hara the way she is. It kind of, yes, it sort of plays in this kind of funny thing about, like, the feeder mentality. Like, he just wants her to eat. Just keep eating. I like you. I'm fine with you being chunky. It kind of gives this indication that Kanzaki just likes him chunky. And on Hara's side, she was constantly trying to get thinner. Like, she wanted to get thinner. And so it was kind of this back and forth of, like, Hara not really respecting herself no matter how she is, almost getting this indication that she feels like she's not pretty because she's chunky. And then on the side of Kanzaki, it's like, okay, Kanzaki likes her for how she is and doesn't want her to feel like she needs to be thin. Like, don't fight yourself. Don't beat yourself up. I love you the way you are. But there's always that joke underneath there was like, but is he actually a feeder? Like, he likes her being chunky. It's sort of confirmed in this episode that yes, it's not that it's indicates that he likes her chunky. It's just that he likes her happy eating. She looks happy when she's eating sweets. And I want her to be able to eat that stuff. Eat all you want to eat. I want to see you happy. So again, it's kind of a feeder thing, but it's not really a feeder thing. But I love what Ichikawa drops in here. Drop that. You're trying to force her to not change. She wants to change. And you have no right to basically tell her that she can't change. Which is literally him echoing his own self. Again, this is his own little knowledge that he's learned in being with Yamada. Again, with Nanjo. I learned this being with Yamada, that's not true. And then bam, right here. I learned that from Yamada, that's not true. You shouldn't stop somebody from changing. She wants to change. And then, yeah, it was kind of a sweet thing. Like, yeah, that is kind of bad, I agree. But I want her to be happy. So they come to like a nice little kind of agreement there. Like, yeah, I understand I should stop trying to force her not to change when she wants to change. This is what she wants. But at the same time, I do like seeing that. And she's like, okay, well, I'll do it. Okay, I'll eat a little bit. It was a cute little thing to kind of get them to air out their issues. But yeah, they separate. They have this little brief moment. Ichikawa basically says, no, I'm going to go home. But that's when we get that in my stomach. Oh no, we're not doing this again, are we, Ichikawa? He suddenly says, yeah, that's best. It's best that I don't do this. Just go home. He's, again, right here, he's comparing himself to Kanzaki. Now, he does admit that Kanzaki has his own issues. Like, this dude ain't right. But it is one of those moments where he's telling himself, this is best. I shouldn't do this. This is fine. But he messed up. He messed up because when they're on the train, again, Yamada notices that he's trying to protect something, and that we know now is the cupcake. And I love that little brief moment. He sees himself again and then goes, crap, yes, just do it. Goes out there, okay, can I get a little brief moment with you? They're out there in the middle of nowhere, the same exact bench that they were at when Yamada gave him the cupcake, which is so poetic there and so super sweet. But it was what Yamada was kind of saying at that point is like, yeah, this is what I like the most. This is what's comfortable for Yamada. And I like how nice that little message is at the very end of it, where it kind of expressed that idea of, yeah, this is us. This is our pace. This is how we do things. This is our way. I think it's just so sweet in that regard. But yeah, he can't stop beating himself up. I keep comparing myself to other people. And he remembers that Yamada on that day was brave. That day when they were sitting there on that bench, she was brave. And again, we kind of expressed that when that episode came up. It's like you could see how much Yamada was pushing herself. I need to do this. I need to give him this cupcake. And she was acting all silly. She was struggling. She was struggling with that bravery. And he tells himself, Ichikawa tells himself, stop looking at others. All I need to do is think about her. And that's really kind of the solving point for this little segment, is that Ichikawa is comparing himself to so much, and he's beating himself up so much. He's even in his own mind saying, I'm sorry I'm such a pain. I'm doing it again, and I'm not doing the thing that he knows Yamada wants, but he can't get brave enough because he's too afraid that she's not going to accept it. They did better. Kanzaki did so much better than I did. I'm not good enough. When he took that cupcake out, I was like, oh my gosh, don't tell me he bought that cupcake. And then she's like, oh, did you make it? Yeah, I went to that whole thing and we cooked it together, right? So I learned about it there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he made it himself. Oh my gosh, he didn't put an emblem on the top of it, right? Did he put the key on the top of it? No, he didn't do that. Then she starts wolfing it down. And I have to admit, the moment that she pulls that bag out of there, I thought it was going to be drugs. It looked like a bag of drugs. I was like, don't. And like suddenly I had this mental image that, well, I thought about this afterwards, but yeah, like I had this mental image which takes this bag out and it's drugs. And then suddenly just cuts to black and it just says, danger's my heart. And then the season just ends right there. Like that was the big punchline. He finally did something extremely dangerous in his heart. Anyways, no, it was cute because she brings that out and it's the accessory. Again, this all ties into what his difficulties was earlier. Homemade and accessories. He was constantly asking if it was the right thing, basically. He was struggling at that point. Did I make the right choice here? But of course, he still, even at this point, thinks back to what Hara said, or what they talked about with Hara, and the idea that, yeah, it's creepy. Buying something like that's creepy. An accessory is creepy. And so he's, even at this point, walking away. This wasn't a good choice. And then she stopped him. She's like, where the hell are you going? Come back here. What the hell? Put it on. Puts it on, says, you're too cute, I could die. And she just, tears go pouring. I was like, oh gosh, it hurts. It hurts. I was hurting ever since the moment he took the cupcake out. I'm like, oh my gosh, my boy finally did it. I'm like getting all emotional. And then she started crying, and I'm not crying, you're crying. It was like an incredibly good little scene there. And it's like, God, again, once again, I asked the question, where do we go from here? Like, we're just going so just nonstop with this series. It's incredible. But yeah, I like how he points out they're different tears than before. And I think that's because now these are tears of joy. Whereas I think before it was tears of frustration. It was tears of fear that she had of messing up. Here is tears of joy. She's super happy right now because it's not just a one-sided thing. This is an acknowledgement on both sides that this is something they want. Again, that's the whole concept of Valentine's and White Day. It is a giving something and giving something in return. Outside, when it's actually relationship stuff, not the obligatory chocolates or whatever. This is literally, she gave that saying, here, this is from me. And he's literally saying, I'm returning it. It's a returning of love. And so good. So good. The smallest and most important step forward, as he put it. I love it. It is just a absolutely incredible episode. I just don't even, like I said, I don't even know where we're going to go from here. But cannot wait. I cannot wait for more. If they keep doing this all the way to the end of the season, I just don't know how you can even top this season of this show for any other show to actually top this. Is going to be incredible. So anyhow, that's my thoughts on episode 19 of Danger My Heart. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button to get my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top lists if it's anime, it's premature. Additionally, if you like this content and you want to support the channel more, I have Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, membership button down below. Greatly appreciate what it does. I'll take care.